How's it going today, guys? This wasn't the video I was expecting to make today, but a genuine multi-millionaire decided to show up into my chat last night. I guess he finally found a car that he could fit in, rolled right into stream and was like, listen, Chinchilla, I'm not very happy with what you and Turkey Tom are saying about me right now, so I'm going to take away everything that I put forth in my recent apology video. I'm no longer going to deny this. I have such a huge ego that a under 100,000 subscriber channel can completely get under my skin without even me saying anything yet. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, last night I was on a live stream and the multi-millionaire JiDion decided to show up. Now you might be wondering, what was the live stream about? Well, it was about the JiDion video that Turkey Tom had made. I thought it was pretty good, and while I was watching it, it dawned on me. I'm like, why am I not watching this with my audience? So I put up a premiere, or excuse me, a live stream, and it had only been up for around 20 or so minutes. I hop on and I start talking, and almost immediately I knew. I saw JiDion in the corner. I couldn't believe it. So I understood what my mission was at this point. I knew JiDion couldn't withstand the heat for very long, so I had to give him all of my points that I had for him. And like when the tax man comes a knocking, this genuine multi-millionaire was nowhere to be found. He was out of there. He couldn't take the heat. He didn't want to have a conversation, which I was totally willing to have. It's not like JiDion hasn't already proved to us by just showing up into my stream and getting upset that he's let his ego subside, that he's trying to become a better man. In fact, he's just the same exact guy beforehand, but he decided to have an apology, and he's hoping that his viewer base doesn't see him for who he truly is, and that is a degenerate clout chaser. There's nothing more to it. JiDion has always been a public nuisance who started doing predator catching videos, and like I've said many times in the past, if he's catching predators and he's getting people off the streets, that's an amazing thing to be doing. But when you're harassing people, you know, innocent employees, police officers, you're doxing district attorneys and things of that nature. Oh, and let's not forget encouraging very real victims of EDP to continue to talk to him for content. But that's enough rambling from me today, guys, right off the rip. Let's go ahead and jump into this live stream that absolutely infuriated JiDion. I'm sure you guys will enjoy it. There's a little bit of an audio issue that it's a little quiet, so you might have to turn your volume up every now and then lower it when Turkey Tom's video starts playing, but I promise you it's entertaining. JiDion certainly liked it. He decided to show up, got incredibly furious, and had to run away without even having a conversation. And we all know how much he loves to jump people onto stream and just start berating them in front of his audience. Unfortunately for him, he wasn't able to do that this time. Maybe next time, Jid, or, you know, we could talk sometime later. It's all cool. So, Turkey Tom has released a video on JiDion, and now I would not have known about this if JiDion didn't make a crash out post just a few minutes, well, I guess like an hour or so after this came out, because a lot of the stuff that he brings up is kind of shit we talked about in my live stream, my videos, Bloodspeth's initial live stream, that Hempleton guys, I think even the Oreo a little bit as well, and they're all very solid points, every single one of them. Now, I think one of the strongest points is the fact that JiDion allowed a teenager to talk to EDP willingly. Now, I don't think JiDion should be allowed to just get a pass for that because he actively encouraged a minor to stay in a chat with a known predator. I think if Nova was to do this shit, I'd call it out. If Cyrax was to do this shit, I would call it out. So I don't think there should be any difference. We need our Chinchilla in the corner, though. Alright, cool. Alright, we'll throw the Chinchilla in there. We'll throw it in. And then, Kyle, don't think I didn't see you. What's going on, Chiller? Hey, thank you. Let's maul JiDion. Dude, we don't even... JiDion's gonna maul himself, genuinely. And, like, how could I maul him? He's a multi-millionaire, guys. Now, I mean... like, if this was fitting into a cop car competition, bro, I'm mogging him every day, but he's a multi-millionaire. What the hell can I do?
YouTube prankster turned predator catcher, who was recently arrested during one of his sting operations. The body cam footage showed his full-blown meltdown while being put in the back of a squad car.
That is an elite thumbnail. Why does JiDion look like a 30-year-old, like, soccer dad? Like, after his kid missed a goal when he crashed out on a coach?
I am a multimillionaire. I promise you, I can take this as far as you want. Officer, you will be in a deposition and you will be arrested. This is...
While he faced
JiDion, hey, what's going on, buddy? Hey, what's going on, man? I'm glad to see you, dude. Hey, what the fuck is JiDion doing in the stream? Dude, JiDion is obsessed with this stuff. Man, you literally told us in the apology video that you're going to calm down and not care about this stuff, but it's still very important to you.
He wisely apologized shortly after, in a video most people saw as sincere.
This is genuinely, and I think what it is genuinely.
What many don't realize is that this is part of a pattern for JiDion, wherein reckless clout seeking backfires, and in some cases, his actions directly lead to people being victimized by the very creeps he swears to target.
When EDP joined my Discord when he was about to do the interview with us, he didn't join, but he found a girl in my Discord.
JiDion has been getting himself in trouble from the very beginning of.
Well, Jid, you knew what you did wrong. I mean, you, at the beginning of your pred catching career, you allowed Kayla Hosking to continue to talk to EDP. You know you shouldn't have done that. That was a very bad thing for you to do. And while you was in call with Bloodspeth, you tried to diminish that. I said in my first live stream about you, I would have had way more respect since you was initially beginning in this to say, hey man, I really screwed up. I didn't know what I was doing, but you neglected to say that. In your apology, you didn't really do much besides your normal thing. Like, hey guys, I'm going to move on. Don't worry about this. I'm just actually a little bit proud of you. You didn't try to pull the Christian grift again. But because there's a good point about you, actually. Do you remember when you was talking to the faithful sheriff? And you was like, hey man, I'm a Christian man, I own up to all of my mistakes, and as a good Christian man, you as well should own up to all of your mistakes too. And I thought that was genuinely a good thing for you. I thought, you know, JiDion is making the right steps. I thought genuinely you were trying to push this man in the right direction. But genuinely, buddy, since you're a multi-millionaire and have trouble fitting in cop cars, you don't think you can go into them, You just do what you want, and you use a Christian grift, which I think is actually more disgusting. Now, and I'll say this like I've said it every time in the past. JiDion, you do great work with predator catches. Stick to predator catches. Stop raging about this stuff because you know you're in the wrong, man. Like, you're just in the wrong. Just stick to predator catches. Try to keep doing good for this world, and maybe try to prove to us that your faith is genuine. 100% JiDion had to be subscribed to me, or just been searching his name this entire time. That was wild. Does he not realize he just gave me a video? Does he not know that? Like I said, I didn't watch Jid before the predator catching content. All I've ever really had of JiDion is nothing but good and positive things to say about him. You could see it from my early videos about this guy. I was very supportive of him coming along with the Nova stuff. I thought that was really cool of JiDion, that he was acknowledging it, and he thought that, you know, Nova was like someone he could get arrested as well. Thought that was really cool of him. I didn't really know about the apology pattern, but I did get to witness it firsthand. So, I mean, Turkey Tom is exactly right right now. I'm not sure which one is funnier. JiDion just seethed searching his name all night long after the Turkey Tom video came out, and then just happened to stumble across my stream. He's like, hey, didn't I talk about this major Chilla guy on stream before? Didn't he open up a video saying I was genuinely a good guy? What is he up to now? It's like, yeah, JiDion, I used to think you was genuinely a good guy. And you know what? I don't think you're a bad guy. You know, you can just go have a seat over there, talk on a Discord, and everything will be just fine. You know, you're an upstanding citizen of the United States, in my personal opinion. And or JiDion just happened to be a true and honest viewer, and I absolutely broke his heart. And if that happens to be the case, man, I'm oh so sorry about this, Jid, but you really shouldn't have been using Kayla Hodgkins the way you was. That was just dirty work. I mean, you was a 20-some-year-old man at the time. You knew that predator catching stuff equals content, equals views. So you kinda had to have an understanding of Chris Hansen and things of that nature. So I imagine that JiDion knew perfectly well that he shouldn't allow this coal miner to continue to talk to EDP, but he was just willing to do it simply for the views. And that's just not cool of him. You know, JiDion pops up on stream and he says, well, what did I do? I mean, what didn't you do, JiDion? You ruined your reputation, you became a public nuisance, you're still angrily searching your name in the middle of the night, hoping you find somebody who makes a live stream about you. You guys know as well as I do that JiDion was so tempted to call me up that night. He has blood spec information, he could have got mine, it would have been so easy for him, and you know he was thinking about that. He wanted to talk to me, he wanted to yell at me, but it just wouldn't have worked out for him. Not only would we have watched the Turkey Tom video together, and it's just damning information after damning information, but I remember, you know, I got a lot of points myself. There's nothing you can do besides apologizing and moving on and hoping to God that the genuine and multimillionaire comments slow down, because they're never going to stop.
There was a time when the name EDP445 was one of the most beloved on all of YouTube. Bryant Moreland would make comedic videos about his interests, from the Philadelphia Eagles to his explosive bathroom experiences after eating fast food.
I never was a huge cupcake eater, you know what I mean? Always been a little bit too sweet for me.
As a result, fans were shocked when he was caught engaging in predatory behavior. JiDion was very aware of this, and 2 years later, he wanted to do some content of his own about EDP. So he invited him to his public Discord server for an interview, which...
Oh, so, I mean, if it was years later, I mean, that's pretty rough, man. That's pretty rough, buddy. Because, like... I feel... No, he says something to counteract this. Like, if you have any knowledge of, like, predators, like, actions throughout time, you know that, like, they repeat it, like no other criminals before. Like, I think them and kleptos are, like, among the most repeated offenders there are. I don't know why you would think this is a good idea. He's been a content creator for years. Obviously, he understands that interviewing a predator might be entertaining to the audience, to call them out, because that's what they want. So you gotta understand the potential danger of EDP.
We know he invited him to his public Discord server with 130,000 people in it because JiDion showed it on stream, wherein he also showed himself messaging EDP back and forth to get ready. Unfortunately for him, once EDP was in the server, he joined the voice call and then muted himself, demanding that JiDion send him $200 to do the interview.
He switched up and said that he has to get paid to do it now.
How much does he want?
He wants $200.
Alright, so... why didn't you kick EDP after this? Aren't you, like, you know, irresponsible for it? Do you guys remember what happened to the guy named Underflow, I'm pretty sure? That guy's an idiot, and he just let a Discord go awry, and that was his entire reason for his career failing. Now, obviously, people in my niche, we should fucking know better. Like, we 100% should. You had to do that kind of shit. But, I mean, this is the same. I mean, I don't know when EDP started messaging this young girl. I don't know. But this is just what I'm saying. If it happened after the call, why did you not kick him? I don't think he should have been there in the first place, but just questioning the thought process after it happened.
You're never gonna get it. Unless Skeet drops it.
For some reason, he wasn't eager to release this video. At the same time, when people mocked him for the initial interview being a failure, he would post on TikTok to own them, basically, saying that in the end, they got him in a sting.
Interview has to have been the biggest failure in all of...
So you guys know it's not CGI.
Well, the sting was eventually released, and it was disappointing to say the least. It opens with Skeeter Jean setting the stage, revealing that EDP had been caught messaging an actual minor, not a decoy this time. He also says they had a private investigator take photos of him, and then says that this sting will be different. They weren't able to get him wanting to meet up with a minor, so instead, their plan is to confront him at a doctor's appointment.
And then you got, I don't know what the this even is, but he did send that to the girl. I guess he put some eyeliner.
That's crazy work. That's some crazy work.
Around and some lipstick and sent it to her. This is not a filter, by the way.
While EDP is a creep and I feel no pity for him, right off the bat, this is clearly not on par with other stings. The first 12 minutes of the video show them getting advice on how to handle it, and they then find him at his doctor's appointment. He instantly ignores them and walks inside. A few minutes later, he comes back out and tells them to leave, and then goes back inside the building. The police are eventually called, not because they have some evidence to get EDP arrested, but instead because Bryant called them saying he was being harassed.
You know, what is the saying where they're like, you know, old habits come back, old habits die hard, right? Using your fans for content with dangerous people that can get them in trouble. Now, I have criticized them probably the least about the McDonald's, like using potential teenagers, because by the time I heard about it, I'm pretty sure it was confirmed. Every one of them was 18. But, you know, the kids on the bike, you know, they don't really look at the ones in the Turkey Tom videos about to be shown. But, you know, this is a repeated behavior by JiDion. And I really don't understand why you would employ it. I think it's to, I don't know, what's the best way to say this? I think it's to inflate his ego, or maybe his ego is so inflated that he believes he can just tell people, hey, go do this for me for content, you can be in a video, and they'll do it for him. I'm not really sure which it is. Also, you know the thing about the EDP watch, I don't know, I really hope that JID screens like the ages of the people on the JID watch, or the EDP watch, excuse me. Because if there's like uncensored messages from the Preds, now no one has ever said it, so I assume, I hope to God that JID like censors the actual private part pics. I assume you guys know what I'm talking about, and excludes them from the chat logs and things of that nature. But I still do think that's exposing very young people to, you know, these very heinous chats. I don't know if it's necessarily the right thing to do.
Skeet sets up all the EDP catches that we do. He does all the work. He initiates all the contact.
I think things are better now.
He does all the work. All I do is just show up and record. I could have took this for myself.
Okay, so here was one of my points in my video about JiDion, which for some reason I think other people were too afraid to mention because it involved Alex Rawson, and I was like, I don't give a, you know, people dislike Alex, I get it, like what he's like trying to support is entirely wrong, but that doesn't discredit like what Alex actually did for JiDion. That would be a idiotic way to look at this. So I was like, JiDion 100% like stole all of Alex's clout. And people ask, well, Chilla, how could JiDion steal his clout from Alex when JiDion's a far bigger creator? I was like, simply, it's because JiDion was not known as a pred catcher. He was known as a prankster. Now, what do you take serious on YouTube most likely? It's probably pred catchers, documentary people. You probably think of them as a little more serious. Not now, because a lot of crazy shit has come out about the pred catchers, but if you back up like 6 months ago or even a year ago, 100% that's the narrative. Then there's like pranksters. You're at the bottom of the totem pole, so by hanging out with Alex Rawson, he was able to get that support from not only Alex's audience, but also from his own audience. Is like, oh shit, JiDion's taking this serious now. And a lot of them thought he was doing his own catches. And right here, he's telling us like, no, I don't do shit, I just show up. So you're like, just you're a personality? That's kind of whack. That literally is using predator catches for content. Because when I think of all the predator catchers, I think of them having to like, go through the shit themselves. Like, it's a very traumatic thing.
Anyway, according to Inside, the Discord moderator who contacted EDP about the sting, he actually gave Kayla some advice on how to go about communicating with EDP.
So happy that this worked out, bro.
Wait, here, Inside.
I'm so happy this worked out.
So everybody doesn't think, you know, I paid this girl. Can you tell them what happened?
Okay, so basically, Kayla messages me whenever he starts DMing her, and she's like, "Yo, EDP is DMing me," and so we got on a call, and I was like, first off, make sure you know, tell your parents, tell the police, all that kind of stuff, and then I was like, "Yo, I have a fire idea for a video. What?"
Okay, so the precaution is, hey, just tell your parents. Ladies and gentlemen, have you not been watching the Celeste Davis case? No, oh my gosh, I said that like that was her last name. The Celeste and David case? That poor young girl, what she went through? From what I've been informed here today, is that her parents signed a little document that said she could go to London with David. I mean, like, you know, I mean, sometimes parents don't exactly know what's going on. Oh, and I'm not saying that David's parents didn't. I feel like they 100% did on the David stuff. But, you know, maybe they don't know what they did or things of that nature. So you got this fool over here. Hey, just tell your parents. Continue talking to a predator. That's crazy work. That's crazy work. This is not even a decoy. This isn't a troll, something maybe you guys would be more used to. This is a young girl talking to her, like, YouTubers that she looks up to. Okay, so chat. I grabbed it, I pulled it up, so let's see what JiDion said when he first showed up, right? What I do wrong? What I do wrong? I don't know, Jid. Be incredibly irresponsible with a coal miner and a known predator. What I do? What I do? I didn't do anything. Come on, JiDion. Come on. I was telling chat just not too long ago, I was like, have you guys noticed JiDion's recent thumbnails where he's like using AI of coal miners in them? And I was like, I think that's wrong. I don't like it too much. And here we have Turkey Tom calling out this exact thing just sometime later. Alright, I was trying to pause before we like spread those out anymore, but I really never understood this point of JiDion's content. Like, I can almost see, like, you being so passionate about your career and things of that nature that you felt it almost mandatory to do this when JiDion had a good reputation. But now that he's been, like, exposed for the clout demon that he is, it's obvious why he was, like, literally going against the platforms. I don't know, maybe you can talk about officials like this, I don't know, so I'm not gonna put anything out there, you know, I'm sure he's just waiting on something like that, but I mean, putting these, like, officials' names out there and things of that nature, you work with Alex Rosen. Alex Rosen gets a shit ton of convictions. A shit ton of convictions. You was learning from him. Just study how he does. Talk to your local PDs that you're going to go catch with. Contact them beforehand. Do the best thing you possibly can to get these people convicted. And don't rage out at the people who don't do it. And I understand as a person who would like these people behind bars that, you know, it is frustrating, and I think tax dollars are put to far worse uses than putting people like this behind bars. Absolutely. But at a certain time, and, you know, a certain thought process is like working with the police and being friendly and kind with them is going to get you so much further than, like, hating on them. I mean, we all know this.
Alex Rosen is almost equal parts creep catcher and equal parts far-right activist. This is not and has never been a secret. I could list a ton of stuff he's done in lieu of his politics.
So when you hear
yeah, exactly what I said in my video. I'm not saying Turkey Tom ripped me, but I mean, if you know about it, it's just an easy talking point to come across. I mean, if you know Alex Rosen you know how heavy he is on things of this nature. Freedom of speech, like, I mean, he takes it to a very high degree. It's not a mystery, and the fact that JiDion, somebody who is opposed to most of Alex's, well, beliefs, would work with them and think he could quote-unquote change him. I mean, that's just a ridiculous way to think, in my opinion. What's going on, Gaming for Tanks? I saw you earlier, buddy. If JiDion actually did it for moral reasons, I would commit him. I wouldn't care. I'd be like, you know what? You actually stood by your morals. And then he did an apology video where he lied and lied and lied. And well, I can only now assume, since you're lying in your apology video, that you didn't do it because of morals. You did it because your viewers told you to.
And I just cannot tolerate that, and I do not respect that, and I have to make a stand.
But as many people pointed out, this response is extremely disingenuous. Alex Rosen is not just some casual right-wing dude. He's been openly far-right for his entire career. JiDion frames it like he was naive in choosing to hang out with Alex because he thought he would change.
Now, also, I want to take accountability. Now, a lot of people are calling me out saying, JiDion, you knew he was like this before you even met him, and you still decided to associate yourself with him. And I have to admit, I did. You know, I am the person to where I naively believe that people can be better.
Alright, I don't know why Turkey Tom didn't put this in his video, but in my very own, alright, let's see if I could probably find it really fast. But in my very own video about JiDion, I put this out because I knew of it. This is why I assumed that Jid was, you know, cool with Alex in all of his ways, like, no matter what, because Alex literally said the N-word right in front of JiDion. And JiDion, like, was like, hey, Alex, you know, you can let loose on this one, man. We're on locals. And it's Alex Rosen. Of course he wants to say the N-word. He wants to, like, talk about
Maybe he's really not a
Jewish people and things of that nature. You know, that's just what he's up to.
person. Oh, wait here, in this one? What? Okay, go back over there. So this one's for the website. So this one, you can go a little bit crazier now. Yo, what's good, EDP Watch, man? Welcome to a brand new catch. This one's Mr. Gordon. He let us tag along.
So you said I could say whatever I want on this website intro?
Sadly, you can say whatever.
Thank you. What's up, bitch? Welcome.
Oh, yeah, okay, no, we're bleeping that. We're bleeping that. We're editing this video.
Okay, so does JiDion look offended right now? Does JiDion look upset? No, he thinks that's funny as shit, what Alex just said. And he's perfectly fine with it. I mean, they're... Alright, the video's a little grainy, but in my humble opinion, JiDion doesn't seem to have a problem with this. He fucking thinks it's funny. He thinks it's funny. So, why is it different now?
You guys will be arrested for trespass.
Okay, we'll leave the property, but like, I'm just trying to figure out, do you have anything better to do? Because this is like a...
Yeah, they
exactly,
told you earlier that they don't
Eon.
want you guys on the property, so you guys gotta leave.
Because you've been camping out there for like 20 minutes, wasting taxpayer dollars.
I'm there for about 5. You guys need to leave.
What?
Echelon, if you've ever been to my streams before, I have multiple times said, hey, you know, police probably do bad things all the time. I'm not going to sit there and trust a police officer. But you know what? If a police officer is, like, legitimately telling you something to do genuinely, you should probably do it, because what dumbass wants to go to jail for their ego? For stepping foot on a McDonald's. If you're not alright, if my cousin tells me, hey, I got trespassed for McDonald's, and I was being hard-headed with the cop, and, like, I got arrested for, like, 30 days because I refused to leave a McDonald's parking lot. I'm like, bro, was a quarter pounder that serious, buddy? Like, just because this is a YouTuber and like, a public figure, in a sense, doesn't make it less ridiculous. I'm gonna laugh at my fucking cousin for doing that shit. This is stupid.
It's crazy how you don't arrest a squatter. That's crazy.
JiDion truly...
And then he says, it's crazy you're not arresting a squatter. Now, I don't know. Was that cop up there with Joe? Does he not understand that not all, you know, you... Alright. Could you... I don't even know how to compare this to anything. Oh, I know exactly how it would be, alright? You're at your place of work, right? And you just walked in there. And then someone comes in storming at you with a receipt, said, you guys effed up. F you. I hate you specifically. You better fix this now because you screwed me over. Sir, I've known you for 2 seconds. If I'm at like a McDonald's, right? And I tell the guy, hey, will you please not allow this guy, his camera crew to come in there? I'm not going to be very happy with the cop. If the cop comes in like, listen, dude, they caught us. They got us in a loophole. How so, sir? They found some random teenager on the street, put a camera on him, and you didn't give me the mythical trespass ability, so he just allowed. Like, huh? Are you, excuse me? So you allowed exactly what I didn't want? Because he asked some other random person to do it? I don't know about you guys, but that seems like bullshit to me.
Sir, what are you doing?
At this point, JiDion's camera no longer captures anything good.
This can't be understated. Ruining the reputation that you had garnered. They completely switched your reputation from internet prankster to Christian good guy. And just crumbled that all. Like, it's kind of crazy because you can't like quantify it in numbers. It's only in feeling that you can like say this. But I mean, it was a heavy loss on JiDion's credibility, what he did right here. And you know who didn't take a loss in credibility? And matter of fact, he genuinely gained it. He genuinely gained some credibility. Shout out to Dead Sobriety with another 5. Alright guys, that was the very end of it all. And you know what? I'm as shocked as you guys probably were that JiDion decided to show up in my stream. He thought he was going to flex on us. He thought he was going to talk some trash. But once he started hearing the points, he's like, I've got to get the hell out of here. I'm genuinely a multimillionaire, and this isn't worth my time. The damage to the credibility has happened enough already. I got to piece the hell out of here. And that was probably the wisest decision, but it's just nuts it happened in general. Hopefully the JiDion saga is coming to a close. I mean, there's not much more that can be gained from it. His reputation is destroyed. He's been completely exposed. So, at this point, I think the only thing he can do is either retire or just do his pred catches and just stick to that. Don't do anything else. Work harder with convictions, working better with the police. Just try to perfect your craft as much as you possibly can. But I don't think JiDion will do any of that. If him popping up into my stream, being one of the first viewers there, I mean, he literally had to be subscribed to me or just angrily searching his name, as I said. I mean, there's no change happening. Give him a little bit of credit that he didn't immediately pop onto a Discord call and want to argue about things. But really, I just think that's because the evidence is too piled against him at the moment. But either way, guys, I think that's enough for me today. As I said, let's hope this saga is over and we can move on to regular programming. But either way, enough from me. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, follow all the socials down below genuinely. Use the hype feature, leave a comment, and I'll catch you guys next time.